Hello friends, welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, so it's been about 4 days now since I posted a vlog last time, and a few things have happened I want to talk about. First off, in addition to the offer that I received that I told you about last time, it appears that I have a second offer, a backup offer that's been made. The potential buyer didn't want to make a physical offer because there's already an offer on the table that's been accepted, but they've asked that in the event that the offer falls through, that we call them and let them know. So that's good news. Always a backup offer is always a good thing. I've also brought in inspectors for the last couple days to kind of check everything out. On Thursday, a home inspector hired by the buyer came in and looked at the house and basically didn't find anything that we didn't know about. They pointed out the obvious things. The water heater's a little old, the air conditioner's a little old, the furnace is a little old, but all is in working order, and they didn't really find anything that they could complain about. So that was really, really good news. On the other hand, I brought in a termite inspector who came in yesterday, and unfortunately they found evidence that there had been a termite infestation in my attic at one point. I don't know if it was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, but apparently a swarm flew through the attic at that point, and what they're recommending is that I'm going to have to tent the house. Yay. Now fortunately, that's a big chunk of money, but it isn't as much money as I was expecting it was going to be. I've just kind of been judging based on the things that have been happening here. I had a little drywall work done, and that was $1,000. I had some plumbing work done, that was $1,000. I had a guy come in and do some painting for me, that was $1,100. So one person working for 5 or 6 hours was resulting in $1,000 charge. So I figured, okay, well, if they're going to tent the house, that's 3 days of work and multiple people. I was figuring 5 or 10 grand. Fortunately, it's going to be a lot less than that, and it turns out the guy that works a lot with people who are selling their houses. So I'm not going to have to come up with the money up front, which is real nice. What they'll do is they'll just charge me at the end from the profits I make on the house. So next few days that we're going to do that. I'll have to be out of the house for a few days and have to figure out what we're going to do at that time. I don't know, maybe I got a friend I can go vlogging with. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, other things I have to deal with as a result of the termite issue is the fact that obviously I can't be here and the cats can't be here either. Now, my parents have made it very, very clear they don't want the cats at their house. So what I'm going to probably end up having to do is board them for a couple of days. Turns out there's a place that does pet boarding real close by here that will take care of them for the couple days, and it's a pretty reasonable price to take care of them. So we're going to do that for about 3 days, but before they could go in, they needed to have their vaccines updated. It's been a little while since they had their vaccines done, so I found a place today that was having a vaccination clinic, and we brought Bite and Nibble down and got them their shots. So they need, the boarding place wants to have 48 hours between when they receive the vaccine and when they actually check into the boarding facility. So at bare minimum, I ought to be able to get them in on Monday. And I don't think we're going to be ready on Monday anyway. It turns out one of the complications we run into is the fish pond. The fish pond is under a patio cover, and the patio cover is attached to the house. So when they tent up the house, they're going to have to do one of two things. Either figure out if they can tent around the pond so that we can get fresh air going to the pond so we don't kill the fish, or I'm going to have to get the fish out of there and move them somewhere. Haven't decided what's going to happen, but they got a guy coming down on Monday to look at the situation and tell me if it's possible to, work around the pond, get the patio covered with the tent, but have the pond itself exposed to the air so that the fish don't die. We'll find out at that point. I'm really hoping I don't have to take the fish out of the pond, because I already did that about 2 weeks ago when I overhauled the pond, and I'd rather not do it again. I lost a lot of fish when I did that time, and you know, I'd prefer if we could leave them in the pond. The fish are a lot happier, a lot more secure when they're there. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. One of the other things I'm going to have to figure out on all this is there's a few plants that I want to take with me, and I'm not sure what the agricultural department says about transporting plants, so I guess I'm going to have to do a little research. But I've had this cactus for a while and I like it, and I'd like to take it with me. Just kind of a reminder of home. It's really beautiful right now because it's kind of in its blooming mode. Those will all be open in probably 2 days or so. Looks like we're going to have about 3 of them all at the same time. That's always fun when you get more than one opening at once. So I definitely want to keep that. This is a maple tree sapling. It's about 4 years old that I grew from seeds from one of the maple trees in the yard. I'd very much like to take that too because I really like the tree, and you know, I think it'd look really nice in a new yard. Kind of bring a little piece of the old house of me to the new house. And then of course I have a couple of plumeria plants that I'd like to bring with me. I've had plumeria in the yard for a long time, and these are a couple of clones of 2 of the plants that I have, so it'd be fun to have those. So, I don't know, I guess I got to do a little research and see whether I can actually bring them across state lines. Sometimes they're a little concerned about bringing plant-borne diseases and the likes with you, so I'll have to do some research to see what's going to happen there. But anyway, that's what we got on that. Oh, and by the way, I have a couple of palm trees that I've been basically keeping in pots for a few years that have also been kind of grown from seeds, so I would like to bring those too. Not sure how that's going to work. I'm hoping what I can do is I can put them in the pod. I know it'll be dark in there, but I'm going to put them probably in the 3rd pod, which will be the one that I'll be unloading first. So hopefully they'll only be in the pod for a couple of days and they'll be rugged enough to hold up to that. I'm kind of over watering them right now, so they get a lot of water banked up so that, you know, being in the pod for a couple of days doesn't hurt them, but I think they'll probably do all right. As for the other plants, I think I'll probably try and just bring those in the car with me when I drive out. Alright, for some time I've had this as a cat carrier for the cats, and it's great for transporting both of them to the vet or for short duration times where they have to be confined. But it didn't seem to me that that was going to be a suitable thing for 2 big, large cats to be in an airplane for a few hours. So about a month ago I went out and bought a metal cage that I thought would be a suitable replacement for this cat carrier, at least for the transporting them on the airplane. When I got the cage home and put it together and had the cats in it, tried moving them while they're in it, the cage isn't really designed to be portable with the animals in it. It's designed to be easily set up, have the cats put in the box at that point. So what I did instead is I went back a couple days ago and bought a larger cat carrier, something that's going to be a little bit more suitable for both of the cats. It's big enough now that they can both stand up, they can both have a little bit of room in there, they don't have to just lay down and wait. So this is the new cat carrier, and I've put it in the closet where the old one was, just to kind of allow the cats to get used to it. As you can see, Mr. Bite here seems very comfortable with it and will go into it all the time. But Nibble over here, she's still a little bit concerned about that. She's not quite sure she wants to go in. She likes the old one better. And so when we went over to the vet today to get their shots, we used the old tiny little one, because like I said, that's fine for short duration type things, but not the kind of thing we'd want to have in an airplane. So I'm going to continue to leave this in here for a few more days in the hopes that she kind of gets a little bit more comfortable with it. I did notice yesterday she was in it a little bit, so she's not terribly afraid of it, but she's just not sure that it's home yet. So we're kind of playing that one by ear. I think that's really all I have right now that's changed since the last video. So I'm going to probably stop right now on this one. I appreciate you watching. I hope you keep coming back and watching. And I will keep you up to date as the tending proceeds and as we go from here. Everything's going to happen quickly now. House is expected to close in about 2 weeks. So here we go. Thanks for watching. See you next time.